Imagine a world where the thunder of machines and the smoke of factories first rose not in Britain, but in China. The 18th century could have looked very different. Instead of steam engines powering textile mills in Manchester, picture vast workshops in Guangzhou or Hangzhou roaring with new mechanical looms. The first railroads might have stretched from Beijing to Shanghai, linking provinces with iron and steam long before Europe laid its tracks. China already had deep roots in invention: gunpowder, the compass, papermaking, and printing. If industrialization had taken hold there, those foundations would have accelerated global change. Coal was abundant in northern China, and with an industrial mindset, it could have powered engines, steel mills, and massive fleets. Instead of Western ships dominating Asian seas, it might have been Chinese ironclads crossing oceans, establishing trade networks, and even colonies across the globe. Culturally, the impact would have been enormous. Europe might have remained mostly agrarian, looking eastward in envy as Chinese goods, technology, and wealth dominated. The Qing dynasty could have modernized early, avoiding the humiliations of colonialism, and perhaps even turning the tables. It might have been London or Paris negotiating under pressure from Chinese diplomats and warships. The balance of power in science and culture would also shift. The great revolutions in philosophy, politics, and economics, think Enlightenment, liberalism, Marxism, might instead have taken root in Chinese cities. Industrial urban centers like Nanjing or Xi'an would buzz with radical ideas about governance, human rights, and labor. European thinkers could have borrowed from Chinese political philosophy instead of the other way around. But this alternate history comes with costs. Industrialization always brings pollution, urban crowding, and social upheaval. Cities like Beijing could have become choked with coal smoke centuries earlier, rivers poisoned by chemicals from early factories. Workers, peasants transformed into laborers, might have faced harsh conditions, sparking revolts and reform movements earlier in history. On the global stage, colonization would look entirely different. Instead of European empires carving up Asia and Africa, it might have been Chinese railroads laid across the continent, Chinese settlers building cities abroad, Chinese language and culture spreading across the world. English might never have become the global lingua franca. Instead, Mandarin could dominate trade, diplomacy, and science. Ultimately, if the Industrial Revolution had started in China, the entire trajectory of world history would have tilted eastward. The 20th century might not have been called the American century, but perhaps the Chinese millennium. The world we live in today, with its power centers, languages, and cultural flows, would be unrecognizable